Well, it's been a while, and it hasn't been a while for you, but it's been a while for me. The last few videos you've seen have been banked, so I got really ahead in my YouTube videos, and now I have taken some time off, which you didn't know about, and I am back to start writing again. And I want to talk about it because this week is all about me trying to find time to write when I don't have time to write. So it's going to be a very interesting vlog. This is something I've struggled with over the last few weeks, and I'm going to see if I can fit writing into my busy schedule. So first, let me explain how long my break was and kind of what situation I'm in that's causing me to not be able to write so much. Let me pull up my word count calculator because you know I track all this stuff. So I pretty much haven't written in 2 weeks. Today is March 9th for reference, and the last day I wrote was February 27th. How far away was that? So about a week and a half ago was the last day I wrote. And before that, the previous day was February 23rd, which was exactly 2 weeks ago. And I'm really disappointed because I was writing every single day. I wrote every single day for over a month, and I made such great progress on my book, and I was doing so well. I was having such a great time, and then life kind of got in the way. I have been working on a personal project, which I will share with you when the time is right, but the time is not right quite yet. So we'll just refer to this mystery personal project, and a lot of stuff is going into this project. It's not just one thing I'm working on, and it's not one thing that I can sit down and do, and I can't take my time to do it. It's on a timeline. And 2 weeks ago, I started preparing for it, and pretty quickly I realized I thought I would have around 3 to 4 months to complete this project, and surprise, it's more like a month and a half. So I've been in panic mode trying to get a whole bunch of stuff done for this project, and as a result, I haven't really had time to work on my writing. I don't really have the option anymore of trying to balance these. The personal project is going to have to come first. And I think at this point, the writing comes at like fourth place, which is terrible. But sometimes you have to, know your priorities. So I haven't been writing or even really thinking about my book just because I have been so busy with this project. It's keeping me there is some physical aspects to it, at least right now, and there's a lot of time required for it. So by the end of the night, even if I have a half hour or something to write, I am just so exhausted. It's not even worth trying because I know I won't get anywhere. I was able to get one small part of the project off my plate, and as a result, I think my time will free up slightly. I'm a little bit concerned, especially as we move into the next month. My time for the next few weeks will probably be very similar in terms of what I can allot to writing. My time next month is going to be a lot worse. I don't know how I'm going to do. We'll find out. But for now, I want to try and make time. So what this vlog is about is just trying to keep me accountable and keep me coming back for writing, even if it's just a little bit. It's already 8:30, which sucks. I wanted to start writing at 7 o'clock, and you can see it's 8:30. So I will really only have maybe an hour at most to write tonight. I have to get an early start tomorrow. It's Sunday night. So tomorrow I have an 8 a.m. meeting. I hate 8 a.m. meetings, but I have one. And so I have to make sure I go to bed at a decent time so I can wake up and get ready in time for that meeting. Let's talk about where I am in the book because honestly, I need a refresher. I did recently reach 50,000 words, and I had in the previous vlog a really high word count day. I think it was over 4,000. I am almost at 60,000 words, which is a lot, and I'm making great progress, but I did kind of just get stuck. So to recap, I rearranged some scenes in my book, which made me realize that I needed to rework my plot. And that's kind of where I left off. I finished writing the scene that I knew I wanted to keep in the book, and I wrote it all out, finished that. That was kind of the last thing I wrote. And now I was kind of faced with, okay, what do I write next? Because I have to change the plot And if I followed my old outline, it just wouldn't make sense. I did actually start on this last night. I didn't record it because I wasn't sure if I was going to make a lot of progress. And quite frankly, I needed to work on the plot and I wasn't writing. So it was going to be very boring. I spent about an hour sitting down working on my plot, and it was just me writing in my journal, just brainstorming ideas and connecting dots and things like that. I did come up with a pretty good plan of attack for the plot. It's not fully finished yet. So what I'm going to do tonight is work on the plot. Sorry, my finger pointing. So what I'm going to do tonight is work. Someday I'll learn to stop pointing my finger at you. I'm very sorry. What I'm going to do tonight is work on my plot a little bit more. I just want to refine it a little bit and get a clearer picture for what I'm writing now. And then I had some kind of scenes or ideas that I wanted to explore, and I wasn't sure what order to do them in. So I'm going to figure that all out so I have a clear direction to write. And once I do that, I'll start writing. And hopefully I have enough of a good plan by the end of my plotting session tonight that I can have enough to write to last me for a significant portion of time. Possibly the whole book, who knows? That would be ideal, but knowing me, probably not. Anyway, I'm going to get into plotting, do that for no more than half an hour, and then I'm going to jump into writing, and I will catch back up with you later. It is 10 o'clock, and contrary to what you might think, since I started at 8:30, I did not write for an hour and a half. I don't know if you can hear my laundry in the background, but I've been doing laundry. I had to make myself a snack and doing a few other things in between writing. And as a result, I honestly didn't write very much. I'm not disappointed or anything. I just have so much to do and not a lot of time. I wrote 166 words. It's not great, but it's something. And I'm proud of myself for trying and putting something on paper. I did have a clear vision of where I was going. I just really didn't have a lot of time to write. And in my defense, I had to delete a few sentences because apparently I had started to try and write the next scene, and I decided, because I replotted my book, I deleted what I had just written and started over. So maybe I did write more than 166 words today. Also, I forgot that I have written like an entire scene that happens later in the book. I did do that because it has been so long since I've written. I totally forgot that I did that. The scene that I wrote tonight actually occurs like in between the last scene I wrote and like a scene I wrote a very long time ago. There's going to be a little bit of rearranging going on because I had to redo the plot. It is what it is. But anyway, I did write tonight. Success. I'm really hoping I can write again tomorrow. Tomorrow is a busy day. It's the start of the workday tomorrow. It's a Monday. I have some appointments and some other things and meetings and stuff. So I really don't think I will have a free moment to do anything until after probably dinner. I do like to make myself a large dinner on Monday night, so I have leftovers to bring to work. I will check in with you as the week progresses, and we can talk about how hard it is for me to find time writing and how I'm struggling with that and how I'm getting through it. But you are here to keep me honest and to keep doing this. Otherwise, I honestly, if I didn't get myself up to film today, I probably wouldn't have written. I just am that tired, and I knew I didn't have a lot of time tonight, but hey, I am 166 words closer to the end of my novel. Even if I have to go at a snail's pace right now, I'm going. I just finished my writing for Monday, and I have to say I was pretty productive. I decided to switch it up a little bit, and I started writing as soon as I signed off from work. So I wrote from 5 until 5:30. I decided to do this because even though I enjoy writing at night and it works better for me, what I have found, especially this happened last night, and this has happened pretty much every night, is I get so caught up in everything that I'm doing that by the time I actually sit down and have time to write, it is, I don't know, like 8:30 or 9. I have to go into the office tomorrow, so I already know it's going to be an early night, and I wanted to go ahead and get my writing out of the way. That way I could focus on everything else that needs to be done. Like I need to make dinner, I need to pack for work, I need to do a few other things around the house for my special project. And I just knew, I know myself, and I knew if I waited to write until after it was all done, I'd have like 15 minutes to write. Now, granted, I only wrote for 30 minutes, but I wrote 491 words, which is a lot. I did find myself getting distracted quite often because I have all this other stuff that I need to do. All this stuff just started popping up in my head as I was writing, and it was distracting me. But I tried to put it out of my head because I do have plenty of time to worry about that stuff tonight. But I did write a lot today. I did a lot better than last night, and I think that's really good. I'm not sure if I'm going to write tomorrow. I have ballet class. Usually I don't write on ballet class nights. We will see. You will see, that's for sure. So that's it for tonight, and I will see you tomorrow or the day after. It is Tuesday, and I'm actually going to write today. I forgot that I had physical therapy after work, and I don't go to ballet class after physical therapy just because I have used the physical therapies on my hips. So I have used a lot of my leg, core, and hip muscles, and they are pretty tired, and I just don't think I can make it through ballet class. So I'm going to write. I am still really struggling with finding time to write. It's been really hard, especially I'm struggling with a few different things. This week is daylight savings time, the first week, and as a result, I kind of lose track of what time it is. For example, today I was working on my personal project, and it was still light out, and I kept saying to myself, I have plenty of time, I don't need to eat dinner yet, because typically I would eat dinner when it's dark before. So I was working on my project, and I was walking by the oven stove at one point, and I saw that it said 7 p.m., and I panicked. I was like, I haven't eaten dinner or made dinner. It's already 7. When am I going to have time to write? And it's just been a little stressful. Also, especially because it's a work day. Work days are just struggles for me in terms of finding time to do things. I wake up around 6 a.m. and leave for the office pretty soon after that. And then today I got home at 5:30. And it's just a long period of time where you're not home to do things. And so when you get home, you're just in this rush to complete everything you can. So I was working on my project. I was making a phone call. I've always struggled with finding time to do things on work days, so this is really no different. I'll just say that it's already 8 o'clock right now. And if it was any other day, I'd probably just call it a day and not write. But I made this vlog with a promise to write every single day, and I'm going to try my hardest to stick to it. I'm glad I'm doing this vlog because it is forcing me to write, but it's hard. And I know that I'm not going to have tons of time. So I will probably only write for a half hour tonight just because I have to go to work again tomorrow. I have to go to bed early, wake up early. And so I just don't have a lot of flexibility in terms of when I get to write because it's already 8 o'clock. I have to try and be in bed by 9:30 or 10. And there's a few other things I need to do before I go to bed. So I don't have much time left to write, which is kind of frustrating. Like I just started this new series of scenes and it's really exciting. I just came up with this idea the other day. I think it was Saturday. I came up with this idea as a way to connect some already existing scenes. So I'm really excited about writing it, but it does require some creative thought. And what I've noticed as I started writing it over the last few days is I'm getting really frustrated because I will come up with an idea or a concept and I get really excited about it and I write it, but then I run out of time and I have to stop. Then when I pick it back up, I've kind of lost that momentum and I have to rethink to myself, okay, where was I going with this? What was I doing? It's just really frustrating because I wish I had like a solid 2 or 3 hours to just sit down and do this. I think I could make a lot more progress and get in this really great flow state if I had that time. So what I've kind of learned so far is that I'm kind of going against the grain of what works well for me. I don't know if it's really worth writing 100 to 300 words a day for my situation and for where I am in this book if I was able to find that 2 or 3 hours to sit down and really write this out. But at this point, I don't know if I will ever have the 2 to 3 hours while this whole thing's going on in my life. So anyway, this is just another experiment. As you can probably tell, I'm trying to experiment of different ways of doing things. I am rambling a bunch and I'm wasting my time because I don't have tons of time to write. So I'm going to sit here, write for a little bit, and I'll pop my word count up at the end, and I will see you tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Finished my writing for tonight. It's Wednesday night and I only wrote for about 20 minutes. I truly do not have a lot of time. I worked today in the office and I came back, I made dinner, I wrote after dinner, and now I have to do some things before tomorrow actually. So I wrote 230 words today, which was good. And I did pass 60,000 words, another 10,000 word milestone, which I love those. I will say I'm a little frustrated with how my chapter is going. I came up with a scene idea and I've been writing that scene idea this whole time. And it's coming to a close, but what I'm frustrated about is the scene is only, I think, 2.5 pages long. It is definitely not long enough. And I think what happened is I breezed through a lot of places where we needed description or conversation. I just wanted the characters to kind of like go to every place they needed to go. And they did that, but they did it so quickly, I think it lost a lot of its impact or description and the mystery and intrigue that goes into writing. It's definitely something I will have to finish in the second draft because I don't want to stop and tweak it because that will take a lot of time. I have to really go back and look at what I wrote, where I need to put in description, how I can make it better, where I can add dialogue, maybe some world building, but I'll figure it out eventually. I also want to say, I know I talked about this last night, but I am still kind of like bummed with the whole only writing a few hundred words a day. Like today I wrote for 20 minutes. I think yesterday I wrote for about 30. I can't really remember. And it's just my time is getting sucked away by other things, by my project, and that's the way it is. I can't really change it. I really wish I had like a nice 2-hour block that I could sit down and really work hard on my book. And I might be able to get that this weekend, but not really, during the weekday. And it also kind of stinks because in previous weeks when I wasn't working on my personal project, I had plenty of time to write in the evenings. I remember writing for like 1 or 2 hours every single night. And it made writing so enjoyable, made my evenings really enjoyable. And quite frankly, right now, I'm just trying to find time to write. I'm trying to squeeze it in between all these tasks I have to do. I'm not going to say it's not fun, but it's become more of a chore just because I'm trying to do it every day. And I'm not sure this is sustainable for like the next month. This definitely was worth a try to see if writing like 15 minutes a day during this crazy time would work. I'm not sure that it will. I still have half a week left. I could change my mind on that. But just overall, I feel like, I'm struggling to write 10 or 15 minutes every day. And if I just found like 2 hours in the weekend, that's the same amount of time I would have written every day. It's, neither situation is really ideal, but I have to work with what I've got right now. And with all that being said, now that I've reached 60,000 words, I am close to 2/3 of the way down with this book. I always say this, I feel like I've barely gotten started. Although when I look at my really rough outline that I've made with my new plot, I am truly, let's see. So I made my new outline in here just for me to kind of play around with. So I have, let's see, I don't want to show you. Yeah, I'm looking at this. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 or 9. I have some things in here that I'm not sure if I'm going to include them or not. But I have like 8 or 9 kind of big things happening in this novel. And I've written 5 of them. And so I would say that my progress along with my word count and my outline is similar. So maybe I feel like I haven't written a lot, but I really have. And I think a lot of this is just I'm really enjoying this process so much. And I feel like I have so much to write and so much story to tell that the closer I get to 100,000 words, I worry about having to shorten my story or change it in a way that makes the book shorter. And I will definitely worry about that at the end after I've finished the story, after I've edited it. I don't want to change the way I'm doing anything right now because it's my first draft, but it is something in the back of my head that I worry about. But other than that, I think it's going really well, and I'm really excited with the overall progress that I've made. It just really stinks that this personal project has come up at a time where I really wish I had lots of time to dedicate to this book. It's really setting me back in writing this book. I can't do like I said before, I can't really do anything about it. I'm excited to tell you about my project. I think I've said this too, this will all make sense once you see what has been going on. But I'm just been like super busy. I'm looking forward to finishing up my personal project, which honestly probably won't happen for another 2 months. But once that's done, life should be somewhat normal again. It should be a little more fun too. And I'm excited to share it with you. I look forward to like working on my book like more because these 200 word nights, if I write like 100 or 200 words every night, it's going to take me forever to finish this book. So I'm looking forward to when I have more time to write like 1,000 words a night or 2,000 to 5,000 words in a weekend. I really enjoyed doing that. Me personally, I'm not a fan of doing the few hundred words a night. I don't really get into the writing. My mind is just in other places, and it's just not a very good way for me to use my energy to do it in the really short bursts like that. I do much better with the long writing periods. I'm much more focused. I'm more productive. I'll do what I can to get through this time, and hopefully at the end of this all, I'll get back to a somewhat normal writing routine. But that's it for tonight. Tomorrow is Thursday. I have my fingers double crossed that I will have more time to write tomorrow. We will see what happens. I say that every night, that I think I'll have more time, and I don't. But I'm really hopeful that I'll have more time tomorrow. It's Thursday, and I am ready to be writing. I am going to write for about an hour tonight. I worked really, really hard today and got a lot of stuff done. And I have freed up my evening to write. That makes me really happy that I can spend an extended period of time working on my book. The only downside is it is getting late in the week, and I've been pushing myself really hard in all aspects for probably since Sunday, and honestly before Sunday. My mental state right now is I just want to rot. I want to sit on the couch and read a book the entire night. Maybe I should do that because I want to do that, but I am dedicated to this writing everyday vlog. So I'm going to write for an hour because I have the time. I don't believe I'll have as much time tomorrow, maybe Saturday. We'll see. This wanting to rot is something I struggle with frequently. I like to take a break every once in a while mentally, just to relax, change things up a bit, because if I do the same routine every single day, it gets to be a little boring. Rotting really just helps me relax and get my mind off things and then enjoy my time. I love to sit and read a book for a while. It's very relaxing. It kind of takes me away from my stressful life. So I probably will read later on tonight, but I'm going to write first. It's 7:15, so I'll write until about 8:15. It's still light out, which is crazy. This is partially why I feel like I still have a lot more time than I do, and it's just because of daylight savings time. But I'm gonna go ahead and start writing. When I'm done, I'll pop my word count up at the end and I will see you tomorrow. Cheers! It's Saturday night. I made myself a double margarita. I drank about half of it at dinner time. I'm working on the leftovers. Tonight is going to be a very chill writing session. As you can see, I've got my natural hair out, my nice Italian hair. I could have gotten ready. I did put eyebrows on for you, but I could have gotten ready, but honestly, I did not feel like it, and it would have added probably another half hour before I could start writing because I would have to do my hair and do my makeup, and I'm just not feeling it tonight, I'll be honest. It is one thing I have struggled with doing YouTube is the kind of pressure to be camera ready and to always put on a good appearance. I know I don't have to, but I feel like I should. But tonight, it's the end of the vlog. According to my analytics, at this point in the video, 80% of you aren't even watching anymore, so hello to my 20%. I hope the crazy hair doesn't scare you away. As I said, it is the last day of writing for the week. Also, I totally forgot to mention this, but I did not write last night. You may have noticed I went from Thursday to Saturday. I was so exhausted yesterday between my personal project and I had a few different appointments. By the time it was nighttime, I was just so tired. I mentally did not have it in me to write. And I just knew it wasn't even worth trying to write at that point. So I decided to take a break. I read a book. I watched an episode of Wheel of Time, kind of enjoyed myself and relaxed a little bit. Woke up this morning and I still relaxed a little bit. And as a result, I feel refreshed. And now I am ready to write. I'm going to write for probably most of the evening. It is 7:30 right now, and I'm going to probably write for around 2 to 3 hours. I will need to take breaks to do things, but nothing really major. For tonight, I expect my word count to be a little bit lower than normal. I typically write around 1,000 words an hour. I am estimating it to be between 500 and 700 an hour tonight. Where I am, some characters are going to a certain location. Well, a bunch of characters are going to one location. They're kind of meeting there. And then they're going to have a discussion and they're going to decide what to do about some information they've learned. I don't really have this scene planned out very well in my head, which is typical for me. I actually enjoy writing without a set plan. I know, what I'm doing tonight is what I like to do. I know what's going to happen in the chapter. They're going to go to this place. They're going to have a conversation. They're going to figure out what they're going to do after this conversation. But I don't really have the dialogue planned out. I don't really know what they're going to, everything they're going to discuss. I don't know what's going to happen in this scene. And I really like writing that way. It's very unplanned, but I find myself coming up with ideas as I write, so it's not a big deal. Because of that, I'm going to write a little bit more slowly tonight. As I'm writing, I may get stuck because I don't know exactly what to say next, or maybe I don't know exactly what's going on or how to describe it. And I tend to get stuck only for 10, 20 seconds, and then I'll keep writing again. Sometimes I don't like what I wrote and I'll delete it and rewrite it. And as a result, I don't write as much as I do when I know pretty much everything that's going to be said or everything that's going to happen in a scene. That's when I get those really high word counts. So today will be a lower word count, but that's totally fine with me. My goal tonight is to finish that one scene. I don't think I'm fully finished with the previous scene, but I think I'm very close, so I'll finish that up and then work on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and get writing, and then I will catch back up with you after this to kind of talk about how this week of trying to find time to write went. Obviously, today's Saturday. This is the most time I've had to write all week, so I do want to reflect on that when this is all said and done. All right, I'm done for the week. Finally, this has been a long week in the making, but at least I ended it on a high note. Today, I wrote 1,373 words. That is the most words I've written all week and the most words I've written since 3 weeks ago. I ended tonight at 62,132 words, getting closer to 2/3 of the way. So I have to say, this was an experiment for me on trying to find time to write when I feel like I don't have time to write. And though I wrote almost every single day, I just don't feel like this was very productive. I am in a very, very busy season of my life, and having to write on top of everything else that I'm doing honestly feels like too much. I'm glad I have made progress on my book. I think this week I should have added it all up, and I closed my laptop and I'm not going to reopen it. But I think I probably wrote between 2,000 and 3,000 words over the course of 7 days. Writing every day would be a lot easier if I wasn't so stressed out about everything else. What I end up doing most days is working my butt off all day long, and then it's like 8:30 or 9 and I'm like, oh, I haven't written yet, and I sit down to write. What I used to do before my life got crazy was just sit down at 7 or 7:30 and write for a little bit. Even now, it's about 9:30 at night. I still have things left that I need to do. And that's part of the reason why I didn't write longer. I think earlier I said I was going to write till about 10:30. Well, it's about 9:30 now, and I still have things I've got to do. So I can't keep writing. I've got to do this other stuff. When life is busy, it is really hard to find time to write. And the stuff that I'm working on right now is not normal, like everyday life stuff. It's just that all this stuff has piled on top of me right now over the next, I'd say 4 or 5 weeks. It's going to be really crazy. I'm going to have even less time than I did this week. I think right now, based on everything that's going on, it's probably better for me to write, like pick 1 or 2 days a week and dedicate an hour to writing, as opposed to trying to fit it in every single day. Fitting it in every single day right now felt completely like a chore. A lot of times I wasn't in the mood to write. I wasn't ready to write. I was trying to squeeze it in between all this other stuff I was doing, and I just didn't find it to be super useful. I will put the total of how many words that I wrote right now on the screen, but like I said, I think it will be between 2,000 and 3,000 words. I could easily write 2,000 or 3,000 words if I just picked 2 nights a week to write 1 hour. Or if I chose like a Saturday night like tonight and wrote for 2 or 3 hours, I would probably get somewhere similar to what I got over the course of the week. I think that is much more feasible given my current situation than what I tried to do this week. At least I tried. What I've been doing the last few vlogs is trying different things to see if I can continue to write this book through all this. What I'm starting to believe is it just may not be possible right now to truly dedicate a lot of time to this book, which is really unfortunate because I love writing. I love working on this book, but life has its own plans sometimes. I'm going to try to keep writing. I'm going to come up with some creative things to do over the course of the next few weeks. And we'll see what else I can do in terms of working on this book. But as always, I'm happy with any progress that I've made, even if it's not the best progress I could have ever made. And I'm hopeful that in the near future, I will be able to get back to writing a little more consistently.